Hi everyone, welcome to another Scrap and Sketch Saturday. Today I wanted to share with you some cards that I created using a bunch of different things. I wanted to show you the supplies I used first, and then I'll go through the cards. So I used scraps from both of these 6x6 paper collections from My Mind's Eye. This one's called Dolled Up and this one's called Reunion. And this one, Dolled Up, I just used for a mini album I just shared with you, I think, earlier this week, and I had scraps still on my desk. And then this one I was going to use for that mini album, and I kept it on my desk and decided to use the scraps that I had from it. So let's see, what else did I use? I used this Tattered Florals die from Tim Holtz that we all know and love. My objective this time for these cards was to use my Cuddle Bug. So I used this Dots Close to My Heart embossing folder, and then this one from Cuttlebug, and it's just a embossed square one. Okay, then I used a few stamp sets. I used this one from Ink-a-Dink-a-Doo, and it's called Thank You Words. So I used different thank you sentiments. I used this one called Card Chatter Sympathy. I used the Thinking of You on this one. I used this this is called Joyful Birthday, and I think I used this one here, the font, I love it. And then I used this one called Happy Birthday, and I used this one here. And I used some miscellaneous chipboard dimensional stickers that I had in my stash, and I've been trying to use these up forever. And then I used some rhinestones and some of these epoxy bubbles from Close to My Heart in the blue and green. I used the green ones. Hadn't used these before, but I love them. I think I'll try to get the other colors that it comes in. Then I also used this Fiskars Scallop Circle Punch, this Recollections Border Punch, my handy dandy Martha Stewart butterfly punch, and then a 1-inch circle punch. Okay, so move those out of the way. Oops, sorry about that. And I'll show you my cards. Okay, so I did, let's see, let me show you the sets I did on ivory. I did 2 cards on ivory, 4 by 5.5 each card base from Recollections. So this one I used that rectangles or squared embossing folder. And here's the Tattered Florals die I used. This is a K & Company paper that I don't recall the name of, but I did put some dimensional adhesive between the layers, so it kind of is dimensional, and then I did try to curl these petals. And then I just stamped Happy Birthday in, what is that, Desert Sand ink, and just tucked it in under this huge brad. And it was really simple, but I like how it looks. Then I did this one here. And this one I did see on Pinterest. I think the one I saw had like a banner though. It had it like as if it was hanging off a banner. And this one I just popped up onto this craft cardstock and put that on foam adhesive. And then put some hemp bows on either side and then stamped the Happy Birthday in olive ink. And then here's those epoxy bubbles. Thought this one was very cute, and this is from that Dolled Up leftover from that mini that I created, and these are all 1/2 inch. That's what was left over, so I just went through and cut them as banners. Really easy and cute. Then I made the next 2 I made using a white card base. So there's this one here. I rounded the top corner, top right corner. This is also from the Dolled Up collection, and I had this corrugated piece of paper in my scraps, and I decided to run it through my Cuttlebug through the Tattered Florals die. And then this is the second layer, the second flower on there, on that die, and I just ran it through that Close to My Heart dot embossing folder, and then added those chipboard stickers. So it's got a really nice dimension to it. And I stamped the Special Thanks in watermelon ink to try to bring out that color, and I kind of like how bright it is. Okay, the next white one, this one was inspired by Pinterest, and I am going to try to be better as far as letting you guys know giving credit and letting you guys know exactly where I got the inspiration from on Pinterest. I apologize that I've been so vague. I just go through so many things, and whatever sticks in my head when I sit down to craft is what I go with. I don't necessarily look it back up on Pinterest as I'm working, so I apologize, but I will try to be better at that. This background paper is from the Dolled Up, and I rounded the top corners on that. And then this is just some craft cardstock I had in my scraps, and I just used that 1-inch circle punch. And these are all scraps from that Dolled Up collection, and they're just a reverse of each other, of different ones. So I popped up the left, then the right, then the left on foam adhesive. See if you can see that. I don't know if it's coming up on there, but and then the ones that I didn't pop up, that laid flat, I just added a rhinestone to the center of those. Then I stamped in black ink the thanks from that Ink-a-Dink-a-Doo stamp and called it good. I really like how this one turned out, and a great way to use up scraps. Then the next two I made on craft cardstock, and these ones are using that other Reunion paper pad from My Mind's Eye. So here's some scraps, and I, of course, whenever I use craft cardstock, I can't help but always distress everything with vintage photo. I don't know why, but it just, I don't know. So it's a craft card base, and I just added a strip of scrap here, and then here's some of the layers of the tattered florals, and I ran the second one through my dots embossing folder, and then just ran my vintage photo over that. And then there's the littler layers here, and then this button here is self-adhesive, and it's just something else I decided to use for my stash. These are from Studio G, and these are self-adhesive buttons that I've had forever. And so I went ahead and used one there and tied a hemp bow. And then this is a punch. Oh, I didn't bring that out. I believe it's a Stampin' Up! Punch, the scalloped rectangle, and I just stamped the thank you on there in the same vintage photo ink. And I really like the layer on that. I don't know if you can tell there, but very cute. Then the last one I made using craft cardstock is this one here. And on this one is where I used the Recollections border punch. I like how that looks. I used my Fiskars oval circle. I wish I had an oval circle punch, but I just have a Fiskars circle cutter, and it just cuts out all the shapes using a template. So pretty easy to do. I added a scrap of green ribbon and some green pearls here and on the eye of this little embossed chipboard bird that Letty, Miss Chicas 1, gifted me. And I did put the bird up on Zots, so he's a little bit off the page. And really simple. I called it good on that. So okay, so these are my cards. I hope you are enjoying a safe and fun 4th of July weekend for those of us here in the States. And thank you so much for joining me today. I will be back to share with you some more projects coming up soon. Thanks so much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.